Hello there, engineers. I hope you are doing well. Gatimo Ithaka over here, and I'm recording this video to assist you on your journey to mastering robot. So, robot is a finite element analysis software that you can use to analyze and design your structure. By analyze, I mean breaking down your load or doing your load takedowns for your structure, getting to know the forces and the moments and everything else in between that you need to use to design your structure. So with that said, I will take you through the user interface. Robot is arranged or it's organized in a really easy way that is easy to learn. So at the top, we have a ribbon, like all other softwares. So we have the ribbon and it has the file. So the ribbon is broken down into tabs, and each tab consists of tools that are that have functions, or they have functions that facilitate similar workflows. So first we're going to start with file. So in file, here is where you can either open a new project or open an existing project. You can save your work and you can save it as a different project as well. Okay. You also have the opportunity to take a screenshot, and you can get to choose where you want to take your screenshot. So you can use this screenshot tool or screen capture to take an image of your project if you want to use it in your reports or something of that sort. Okay. And then in edit, just as edit means in general, edit is where you can make edits to some of the elements you have modeled. Okay. So if you want to undo something that you've done, if you want to redo something that you have undone, you can be able to do that in this particular tab. All right. And then if you want to cut something, if you want to copy, if you want to paste, if you want to delete, if you want to select items, this is the tab for you. Okay. Then you also have other functions at the bottom. You have the divide, you have the intersect, you have the trim, you have the extend. So you'd use this with beams or purlins if if you're doing some steel design. So these are the functions that you can use to tell the software, I want these beams to intersect. I want you to extend this beam from this point to this point. So these are the tools that you'd use for such a workflow. All right. Then we have the view tab. So the view tab is all about views. It contains functions that help you view your model or your elements in different ways. So you can do it 3D, you can zoom in, you can pan around, and that's the function of the view tab. And then we have the geometry. So in the geometry, this is the region where we can come up with our model. If you want to define your axis, your stories, if you want to model nodes, panels, columns, beams, walls, etc. This is the tab for you. And then we have our loads. So in loads, this is the region where we are going to be defining our loads. So in robots, what we do is we define the load. So the load type is, say, a dead load. You want to define if it's a floor finish, if it's a live load, if it's a stair live load, if it's a wall load, that's a load type. And then in the load definition is now where you give the value of that particular load and then how it's acting. Is it going to be acting, a gravity load going down the z-axis? Will it be going upwards? Will it be acting in the direction of the y-axis or the x-axis? That's what we do in the load definition. And then from that, you do the manual combinations and the automatic combinations if you need to. All right. So we're not going to go deep into all the tools. The purpose of this video is to walk you through the user interface. And then as you watch this video, you are going to get a better understanding of the user interface and also get to maneuver around. So this is to familiarize you with the software. And then once you're familiar enough with the software, you can be able to use it for your work. Okay, then after loads, we have analysis, then the results. So after you've done your analysis, you'd like to know to see your results. So if it's the reactions, the displacements, the deflection, the forces, the stresses, etc., this is the tab for you. And then after you've gone through your results, after you understand your results, if you think they are sound, if if your structure behaves in a manner that you think it should be behaving, then you can go to design. And then in design, we have the various types of design that you can do in robot. And this is the tab for you. Okay. And then in the tools, these are the tools that you're going to be using in robot to facilitate the various workflows. So for example, if you're modeling and you'd want to know the distance between certain elements, you can use the snap set. You can use the dimension lines. And then if you want to alter the snap settings, you can do that. If you want to alter the units in formats, this is the tab for you. All right. Then we have the add-ins. This is if you want to add something into your software. Say you want to integrate Robot and Revit. There is a plugin that we use to do that. So this is the place where you get to add it. All right. So after you've gone through the ribbon that has all the tools that you need, then we have the standard bar. So the standard bar has the tools that you're going to be using more frequently. So if there's any tool that you're going to be using more frequently, then here is where you get it. Okay. I understand some of the tools might not make a lot of sense to you. You might not know what they are used for at this point, but don't worry about them. Just have a good view of the robot structural analysis user interface. Get to know where these tools are, and then you're going to master their functionality as time goes on. All right. And then after that, we have the selection bar over here. So from this point, you can select the nodes if you need to. So Robot works with nodes. And if you've done anything with finite element analysis, you know the nodes are where those meshes connect. Okay. So that's why we have nodes in robots. And then we have the object selector. So this one allows you to select the different items in your software. So you want to select a particular column, a particular beam, a particular flow type. This is where you do it. Okay. And then from that, we have the view editing view window. So if you want to see an object in a new window, you can be able to do that. Okay. So you can be able to see it in another window. And then from here, you can give a given object more attention or specialized attention. And then you can always exit from the new window and then see it in the model itself. And then from here, if you've added several types of loads, you're going to see them here as well as combinations. And then in this point here, we have the story definition where we define the stories. And then to our right, we have the model bar. And this one contains the tools that we are going to be using for the modeling. So remember these tools, you can also access them from the geometry, where you're going to be defining the different types of geometry. So if you want to define the axis, you can do them from here, or you can do them from here as well. Okay. And then you also have access to modeling the beams, the columns, the slabs, the shear walls, the core walls, and anything else. Okay. And then going downwards, you have the opportunity to define the load, the different support types, the loads, do your load definition and your combination. Okay. And then in this point here again, you have access to all the tools once. All right. And then to our left, we have the object inspector. So the object inspector, it's divided into two parts. So in the first part, we have stories. So everything in your model is broken down into stories. So this one allows you to select elements per story. So if you want to select the fifth floor, if you want to filter out the first floor, you can do that. And then below it, we have the objects of a model. And then this one now refers to the entire model. So from this point here, you can select all the beams if you need to. Okay. If you can select all the columns if you need to, and that's where you do it. All right. So no worries about that. Just get to have a good understanding about this, about the software, and then from there, you're going to take it to the next level. So thank you for watching and see you in the next video.